They believed Earth would bow without a fight, but humans were preparing a vengeance that would shake the galaxy. Make sure to subscribe to catch more incredible stories and thrilling adventures. The massive holographic projection filled the skies of every major city, showing the immense fleet of the alien empire hovering above Earth. Millions of humans stopped in their tracks, staring at the enormous ships that blotted out the sunlight and seemed to hum with unimaginable power. The voice of the alien commander echoed through every communication channel, cold and commanding. Obey, submit your resources, pledge loyalty, or face total annihilation. Panic spread quickly, but alongside the fear, a spark of defiance started flickering in the hearts of some human leaders. People in control rooms, government offices, and underground bunkers watched in disbelief as the Empire demonstrated their weapons. Pulses of energy shot from massive cannons, vaporizing entire mountain ranges in seconds. The images were terrifying, yet humans couldn't look away. They saw what could happen if they refused to comply. And the scale of destruction made it clear that the aliens expected total obedience. In homes and offices, families gathered around screens, whispering in shock. Children clung to their parents, and adults felt a weight of helplessness pressing down on them. Yet even amid the panic, some people refused to bow to fear. Small groups of scientists, engineers, and military personnel began quietly meeting in secret. Their eyes glimmered with a mixture of worry and determination. They knew that surrendering would cost humanity its pride and freedom, while defiance might cost billions of lives. But they could not ignore the insult to their independence. The Empire's arrogance was clear. They assumed humans would be easy to control. They broadcast demands not just as warnings, but as ultimatums, showing fleets capable of destroying cities and planets alike. Every leader knew the stakes. Every citizen felt the tension. Some governments considered immediate compliance to avoid destruction, issuing statements promising obedience, while others began quietly preparing secret strategies to resist. In hidden bunkers beneath the Earth's surface, maps of the galaxy were spread out, marking the locations of alien bases, fleets, and key systems. Experts debated which technologies could be adapted for human defense and how humanity could survive long enough to strike back. At the same time, ordinary people reacted in countless ways. Some panicked and tried to flee to remote locations. Others joined volunteer defense groups, learning how to operate early warning systems and communications networks. The humans realized that survival would require cooperation, courage, and rapid innovation. The aliens had underestimated human adaptability and resourcefulness. Even in the face of such overwhelming power, the human spirit began to show its resilience. Across the planet, secret meetings, clandestine operations, and covert preparations started taking shape. Hidden labs worked night and day, repurposing old spacecraft, experimenting with new weapons, and testing strategies that might counter the Empire's might. People risked their lives simply to keep their plans secret, knowing that any leak could bring immediate destruction. Yet with each challenge, humans discovered small victories, finding ways to evade alien surveillance, communicate safely, and protect critical knowledge. The Empire's demonstration of force was meant to break human will, but instead, it ignited a quiet fire of resistance. Leaders began to understand that fear could be transformed into determination, panic could be channeled into preparation, and despair could be converted into courage. Even as the Empire's fleets hovered menacingly above, humans began imagining how they could fight back. They studied the aliens' movements, learned their patterns, and began identifying vulnerabilities. The Empire expected submission, yet humanity had something far more powerful than their weapons: ingenuity, adaptability, and an unbreakable will to survive. As night fell on cities under the alien gaze, lights flickered in hidden laboratories, and secret plans took shape in basements, bunkers, and control rooms. Humans whispered to each other in hope and resolve, knowing that the path ahead would be dangerous, uncertain, and costly. But they also knew that surrender was not an option. The Empire demanded obedience, but humanity quietly began to prepare, not for compliance, but for a fight that would show the galaxy that Earth could not be conquered. While most of the world debated whether to submit to the alien empire, a determined coalition of humans began moving in secret. They understood that survival depended not only on hiding, but on striking back with intelligence and cunning. Scientists, engineers, and military leaders pooled their knowledge, repurposing old space technology and designing new spacecraft capable of interstellar travel. Laboratories once used for peaceful exploration now buzzed with activity to create weapons, shields, and communication systems that could rival the aliens' advanced technology. People from private space agencies, defense organizations, and universities joined forces, sharing resources and skills. The coalition worked quietly, aware that any leak could alert the Empire and provoke immediate retaliation. They studied every detail of the alien fleet, analyzing movement patterns, weapon capabilities, and tactical weaknesses. Even simple human devices were enhanced with creativity and improvisation, turning ordinary tools into potential life-saving innovations. Across the world, secret bases and underground bunkers became hubs of activity. Where once governments and organizations competed, now they collaborated with a single purpose: to prepare humanity for the fight ahead. Volunteers trained relentlessly, learning how to pilot new ships, operate advanced weaponry, and respond to alien attacks. They simulated battles, practiced evasive maneuvers, and ran drills to anticipate every possible scenario. Ordinary citizens contributed in ways that were just as important. They built communications networks, gathered intelligence, and ensured the secrecy of operations. Families whispered coded messages and protected crucial information. Knowing that the smallest mistake could lead to disaster, tension and fear were constant companions, but so was hope. The humans understood that courage alone would not win the coming struggle. They needed strategy, innovation, and the ability to adapt faster than their enemies. Every night, human leaders held meetings to coordinate efforts. Each plan was tested against hypothetical alien responses. Their goal was not just to survive, but to demonstrate that humanity could strike back. Even small skirmishes could have significant impact if humans exploited the right weaknesses. Morale became a driving force. Stories of bravery and ingenuity spread through hidden channels, inspiring more people to join the effort. Engineers who designed a tiny, unarmed probe found ways to attach sensors and weapons to it, turning it into a tool that could sneak past alien defenses. Scientists discovered ways to hack alien communications, intercepting messages and gaining vital information about fleet movements. Every discovery, no matter how small, became a step toward turning fear into action. The humans were learning quickly. Adversity forced innovation, and the pressure of imminent threat accelerated progress in ways that years of peace never could. Some of the humans volunteered for the most dangerous missions, testing new spacecraft that had never flown, piloting prototype weapons, and risking their lives to gather critical data. Others stayed behind, ensuring the supply lines, repairs, and communications remained intact. The human coalition understood that every role, whether on the front lines or behind the scenes, was vital. Secrets were tightly guarded, and trust became the currency that kept operations running smoothly. The aliens believed humanity would be easy to manipulate, assuming that fear would make humans obedient. But the coalition proved them wrong. Using intelligence, determination, and creativity, they were building a force that could challenge even the mightiest alien fleet. Even as the Empire loomed above, humans launched covert reconnaissance missions, sending small, nimble ships to test defenses, gather intelligence, and create openings for larger attacks. Each mission taught them more about the alien strategies, allowing them to improve and refine their own plans. Across continents, humans trained, built, and innovated, transforming fear into energy, urgency, and unity. They discovered that their greatest strength was not just technology, but the unpredictable and adaptable nature of human thinking. As time passed, the coalition grew stronger. More people joined the cause, contributing in ways that ranged from engineering marvels to subtle acts of sabotage. The humans realized that together they could create something the aliens could not easily predict. They were small, agile, clever, and relentless. The Empire demanded submission, but humans prepared quietly, secretly, and decisively. Not simply to defend themselves, but to show that they would not bow. That defiance was not only possible, but inevitable. And in the shadows of fear and oppression, humanity's fiery spirit burned brighter than ever before. Small human spacecraft began moving carefully at the edge of the solar system, testing the Empire's defenses with daring precision. These ships were fast, nimble, and built with the ingenuity of engineers who knew they could never match the Empire's size or raw power. Instead, humans relied on clever tactics, surprise attacks, and adaptability. Human pilots used the darkness of space, asteroid fields, and hidden orbits to approach alien convoys undetected. Each mission was dangerous, but even small victories could teach humans valuable lessons. When a convoy of alien supply ships appeared, humans attacked in hit-and-run strikes, disabling engines and communications. The aliens were confident at first, calling the humans primitive and weak. They did not expect such coordination, cunning, or speed. Each skirmish tested human nerves, and many pilots faced situations where quick thinking meant the difference between life and death. Engineers monitored every engagement from hidden stations on Earth and in orbit, analyzing outcomes, adjusting strategies, and improving spacecraft. Every encounter taught humans more about the Empire's tactics, weaknesses, and predictable patterns. The aliens grew frustrated as their ships were damaged by attacks they considered impossible. Back on Earth, the news of these small victories spread secretly, inspiring hope and determination. People whispered stories of pilots who outmaneuvered giant alien vessels, engineers who created new weapons on the fly, and soldiers who risked everything to strike at enemy supply lines. Even though losses occurred, the humans learned to adapt, to treat each mistake as a lesson and each success as a stepping stone. Teams coordinated missions carefully, ensuring minimal risk while maximizing impact. Pilots who survived one engagement shared knowledge with new recruits, spreading experience faster than the Empire could respond. The aliens tried to overwhelm humans with sheer firepower, sending massive fleets to patrol areas humans had just attacked. But the humans were unpredictable, changing routes, timing, and tactics in ways that made tracking difficult. Their small size became an advantage, allowing them to slip through defenses the Empire thought impenetrable. Communication became vital. Teams developed secure channels to coordinate attacks across vast distances. Hackers intercepted alien signals, allowing humans to anticipate movements and plan strikes. Human ingenuity turned ordinary technology into extraordinary tools. Tiny drones became scouts, solar sails became decoys, and modified satellites provided surveillance in previously impossible ways. The first successes did not end the threat, but they proved something crucial. Humans could fight back. That even a species considered weak and primitive could challenge a galactic power. These victories ignited morale, both among the coalition and ordinary citizens. People began volunteering for missions, building support networks, and finding ways to contribute. Every human knew that each act, no matter how small, mattered. Pilots faced terrifying moments where alien weapons tore through the void, testing courage, reflexes, and creativity. Engineers monitored systems under extreme pressure, making instant adjustments that saved lives and ships. Scientists on Earth worked to predict the Empire's next moves, often using improvisation and intuition to outthink an opponent with far greater resources. The aliens underestimated the human mind, assuming brute force would ensure obedience. Yet humans showed that clever tactics, adaptability, and unity could match and sometimes surpass raw strength. Each encounter became a story of ingenuity, teamwork, and courage. Small strikes against supply lines disrupted alien operations, forcing them to rethink strategies and redeploy massive fleets. The human advantage lay in speed, creativity, and the ability to improvise. Pilots learned to lure enemy ships into traps, engineers modified weapons mid-battle, and scientists predicted movements from subtle patterns. The humans' small victories were celebrated quietly but passionately. In hidden bunkers, control rooms, and homes, people cheered secretly for those brave enough to face the Empire. Each engagement, no matter how brief, became a symbol of hope, a reminder that humans could challenge what seemed unbeatable. The aliens were frustrated, their arrogance shaken. Yet they still did not fully grasp that humans were unpredictable, adaptive, and determined. As humans continued to strike at convoys, supply lines, and isolated ships, they learned more about themselves, their capabilities, and the courage needed to face an opponent that had seemed invincible. Each mission brought new lessons. Each success fueled further determination. The humans began to realize that strategy, creativity, and unity were their greatest weapons. Even in the vast emptiness of space, humans were showing that they could not be controlled, subdued, or defeated easily. Every daring strike at the Empire's convoys proved that the spark of defiance had grown into a blazing fire, that humanity, small but clever and united, could make the mighty Empire hesitate, question, and ultimately fear. The Empire's response was swift and terrifying. They unleashed massive fleets toward Earth, their ships bristling with energy weapons that could obliterate cities in minutes. Entire regions were targeted, and for the first time, humans felt the full scale of alien wrath. Cities that had once looked safe were now under threat. Skies were filled with fire as alien beams struck buildings, vaporizing structures and sending shockwaves through streets. Panic spread among civilians, yet amid the chaos, human courage began to shine. Emergency response teams worked tirelessly to evacuate populations, hiding them in underground bunkers, caves, and reinforced shelters. Military units tried to intercept alien craft, though they were vastly outnumbered and outgunned. Each encounter was deadly, and losses mounted quickly. Yet these attacks revealed something important about the Empire. They were massive, powerful, but also slow to adapt, relying on predictable patterns and overwhelming firepower rather than flexibility. Human strategists observed every move, noting weaknesses that could later be exploited. While destruction rained down, secret human teams salvaged data from battlefields, gathering intelligence on alien tactics, weapons, and fleet formations. Civilians helped in countless ways, keeping supply chains running, repairing communications, and creating safe routes for escape. Even in the face of fear, ordinary people found courage. Children learned quickly to follow emergency drills, families developed signals to communicate safely, and volunteers risked their lives to deliver supplies to those trapped in danger zones. The human spirit showed resilience. Even as skyscrapers crumbled and cities burned, people refused to surrender mentally. They supported each other, sharing resources, offering comfort, and maintaining hope. Underground laboratories and command centers became the heart of human resistance. Scientists worked feverishly to develop countermeasures, from energy shields to adaptive weapons. Engineers repaired damaged spacecraft, improvising with limited resources, and soldiers trained relentlessly to face the alien threat head-on. Communication was vital, and humans set up networks that could survive the Empire's attacks. Using satellites, hidden relay stations, and secure channels, humans kept plans moving, coordinated evacuations, and organized counterattacks. The Empire intended to crush human morale, believing that such overwhelming destruction would force surrender. But instead, it forced humans to unite, to innovate, and to fight smarter. Pilots adapted to alien tactics, learning to dodge energy blasts, navigate debris fields, and exploit gaps in enemy formations. Scientists discovered weaknesses in alien shields and communication links, developing tools to exploit them in future engagements. Engineers created decoy ships and automated drones to confuse and distract the enemy. Each small success, each adaptation, became a stepping stone toward resistance. As humans endured the Empire's wrath, communities formed stronger bonds. Sharing resources, knowledge, and courage became essential. Volunteers ran dangerous missions to gather intelligence, repair critical infrastructure, or guide civilians to safety. The pressure of imminent destruction accelerated human innovation at unprecedented speed. Ordinary people became heroes in ways that mattered, showing bravery, creativity, and solidarity. The Empire assumed humans would break under fear, that they would surrender or collapse into chaos. But humanity showed resilience, patience, and the ability to turn despair into determination. As entire regions faced annihilation, secret preparations continued. With each attack, humans learned, adapted, and became stronger, analyzing alien strategies, improving weapons, and finding ways to exploit even minor weaknesses. The more the Empire struck, the more humans discovered how to survive and counterattack. Courage spread across the planet, inspiring more people to join the efforts. Whether through direct combat, intelligence work, or logistical support, every human contribution became crucial. The Empire's wrath was terrible, yet it revealed that humans could endure, adapt, and resist, that even the mightiest force in the galaxy could be challenged through ingenuity, unity, and courage. Human leaders realized that the key to survival lay not in matching the Empire's firepower, but in outthinking them, striking where they were weakest, remaining unpredictable, and exploiting their overconfidence. Even as cities burned and fleets attacked, the human spirit refused to be crushed. They began to see the destruction not only as a test of endurance, but as an opportunity to learn, to grow stronger, and to prepare for the day when humans would strike back. The Empire believed they were teaching a lesson, but in reality, they were forging a stronger, smarter, and more determined humanity. Each loss taught survival, each danger inspired creativity, and each attack revealed the potential for counteraction. In the midst of fear and devastation, humans discovered their greatest strength, their adaptability, their courage, and their unbreakable will to fight for freedom. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly in hidden labs, developing a secret weapon that could turn the tide of the war. This technology was unlike anything the aliens had seen, a combination of advanced energy systems, hacking programs, and experimental propulsion that could disrupt enemy fleets. Volunteers stepped forward, knowing that testing the weapon could cost their lives. Pilots, engineers, and soldiers all took part in a risky operation to understand how the device would function in real combat conditions. Every trial was tense, with failures and minor successes teaching valuable lessons. The weapon required precise coordination, timing, and courage. Human teams trained relentlessly to master its use, learning to deploy it in space, on ships, and even in ambush situations where surprise would be critical. Engineers modified spacecraft to carry the device safely, ensuring it could reach enemy formations without being destroyed prematurely. Meanwhile, intelligence units worked to map the Empire's fleet patterns to ensure the weapon could target weaknesses effectively. Scientists simulated countless scenarios, predicting alien responses and calculating every possible outcome. Volunteers ran drills under extreme conditions, practicing evasive maneuvers, emergency repairs, and rapid deployment of the secret weapon. The pressure was immense, as any mistake could reveal the plan or lead to disaster. Yet human determination was unwavering. Every person involved understood that the stakes were enormous, not just for themselves, but for the survival and freedom of all humanity. The weapon itself was more than just firepower. It represented hope, ingenuity, and humanity's refusal to surrender. In testing, it showed surprising results, disabling small enemy ships, jamming communications, and causing temporary chaos in alien formations. Engineers refined it continually, making adjustments based on every new piece of data. Even the smallest volunteers, working on monitoring, repair, and communication, played a crucial role, ensuring the operation remained coordinated and secret. Humans prepared to use the weapon for a decisive strike. They knew that a single opportunity might decide the fate of Earth and every allied planet. The Empire remained arrogant, confident that no human technology could challenge their might. They continued to deploy fleets with predictable patterns, unaware that the humans were studying, learning, and preparing a surprise. Teams coordinated attacks with careful timing, combining the secret weapon with conventional strikes, stealth maneuvers, and electronic disruption. Humans had to be precise because the Empire's retaliation would be swift and merciless. As the first deployment approached, tension ran high. Pilots gripped their controls tightly, engineers monitored every system, and commanders relayed real-time intelligence to adjust plans on the fly. Even with careful preparation, nothing could completely remove the danger. The volunteers understood that sacrifice was inevitable. Some missions were designed to draw enemy attention, allowing the weapon to reach its target. Others involved direct engagement, relying on speed, skill, and timing to survive long enough for the device to activate. Throughout the process, humans discovered new ways to enhance their technology, combining hacking, energy manipulation, and strategic deception to make the weapon more effective. Each improvement increased their chances of success and survival. Morale soared as humans saw the results of their efforts in simulations and small-scale tests. Courage spread from pilots and scientists to civilians supporting operations. Everyone knew that the coming strike could change the war forever. Secret teams prepared launch points across the solar system, ensuring flexibility and the ability to respond to unforeseen enemy movements. Human communication networks remained encrypted and protected, using sophisticated codes and constant monitoring to prevent detection by alien intelligence. The weapon became a symbol of resistance, representing not just technology, but the unyielding spirit of humanity. As the final preparations were made, humans reviewed strategies repeatedly, identifying contingencies, backup plans, and escape routes in case the Empire reacted unpredictably. Volunteers encouraged one another, sharing stories of bravery and reinforcing the belief that courage and intelligence could overcome fear and might. Every step was coordinated to maximize effectiveness, every detail analyzed to ensure the weapon's first use would have maximum impact. The aliens believed humans would crumble under pressure, yet humans were preparing a strike that combined daring, ingenuity, and surprise. Finally, the moment approached when the weapon would leave the lab, travel through space, and confront the Empire directly. The teams involved understood the weight of history, that their actions could alter the course of humanity. In secret hangars, underground labs, and command centers, humans whispered words of encouragement, checked systems one last time, and prepared to launch. The secret weapon was ready, a product of human creativity, perseverance, and sacrifice, and it would soon demonstrate that even the smallest, cleverest species could challenge the mightiest empire. Humans launched their coordinated counterattack with precision, every move carefully planned, every pilot and engineer knowing the stakes were higher than ever. The secret weapon, combined with small, agile spacecraft and clever tactics, became the spearhead of their offensive. Alien fleets, confident in their superiority, were caught off guard as humans struck simultaneously at multiple targets. Pilots used the element of surprise, darting in and out of asteroid fields, through debris, and along unexpected routes to strike alien supply lines and communication hubs. The secret weapon activated with devastating effect, disabling engines, jamming signals, and creating confusion among the alien ships. Engineers monitored every system, making instant adjustments to ensure the weapon reached maximum effectiveness. Soldiers aboard human ships executed precise maneuvers, boarding disabled alien vessels to gather intelligence and sabotage critical systems. Every human involved risked their life, knowing that a single mistake could mean destruction for them and their team. The aliens were stunned. They had never faced an enemy that combined unpredictability, ingenuity, and sheer courage. Their massive fleets were disrupted, formations broken, and communication lines cut. Human pilots coordinated attacks across vast distances, using secure communication channels and real-time intelligence to adapt to every alien move. Engineers created decoy ships and automated drones that distracted and misled enemy sensors. Scientists hacked alien systems mid-battle, turning the Empire's own technology against them. Each success built morale. Pilots who survived relayed critical information, helping others avoid traps and exploit weaknesses. Engineers repaired ships under fire, improvising with limited resources to keep the offensive moving. Civilians on Earth and hidden bases celebrated quietly, sharing stories of bravery and daring maneuvers that seemed impossible against such a powerful enemy. The human strategy relied not on matching the Empire's firepower, but on clever tactics, coordination, and adaptability. Every attack was planned to maximize impact while minimizing exposure. The aliens, used to obedience and predictable behavior, struggled to respond effectively. Their arrogance became their weakness, underestimating the human speed and creativity. Humans used a combination of guerrilla-style strikes and high-tech weaponry to disable enemy ships. Each disabled vessel weakened the Empire's overall strength and morale. Boarding teams found ways to sabotage engines and weapons, further crippling the enemy. The humans' ability to adapt on the fly became their greatest advantage. Each engagement taught new lessons, which were immediately applied in subsequent attacks. Pilots learned to exploit alien patterns. Engineers refined the secret weapons deployment, and strategists adjusted plans to anticipate retaliation. The alien commanders grew frustrated, realizing that humans were unpredictable, relentless, and far more resourceful than expected. Even when humans suffered losses, each setback became a learning opportunity, increasing the effectiveness of future operations. As the battle raged, humans demonstrated remarkable courage, facing overwhelming odds with intelligence, coordination, and daring. The combination of secret technology, clever tactics, and human determination created chaos in the Empire's fleets. Ships that were once symbols of invincibility now struggled to survive against smaller, faster, and smarter human forces. Communications were jammed, engines disabled, and weapons turned against their owners. Human teams operated with near-perfect synchronization, maximizing the effect of each maneuver. Civilians and volunteers on Earth continued to support the effort, maintaining logistics, repairing damaged ships, and relaying intelligence. The humans' offensive was not just a physical attack, but a psychological blow, proving to the Empire that humans could fight back with ingenuity and courage. The alien forces were forced to retreat in confusion, their confidence shaken, their strategies disrupted. Humanity's fiery vengeance became visible across the battlefield. Every strike, every maneuver, and every success strengthened their resolve. Pilots returned with tales of bravery, teamwork, and impossible maneuvers, inspiring the next wave of fighters. Engineers and scientists celebrated small victories. Knowing that each innovation and adaptation was changing the course of the war, humanity's counterattack demonstrated that even a species deemed primitive could challenge the mightiest empire. Outnumbered and outgunned, humans used intelligence, creativity, and unity to turn the tables. The Empire suffered its first major defeats in centuries, stunned that a species they considered weak could strike back decisively. The battlefield became a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and unbreakable will. Every action proved that survival alone was not enough. Humans would fight, adapt, and retaliate with fiery vengeance. The humans' relentless attacks began to change the course of the war. Small victories grew into larger ones as their coordinated strikes disrupted the Empire's operations. Pilots, engineers, and strategists worked tirelessly, refining tactics, analyzing enemy weaknesses, and preparing for the next wave of engagements. Each human operation was carefully planned, combining speed, surprise, and intelligence to maximize impact. The aliens, confident for centuries in their power, were forced to react to human unpredictability. Entire supply lines were cut, communications jammed, and critical fleets damaged. The Empire grew desperate, making mistakes that humans quickly exploited. On multiple worlds under alien control, the humans' victories inspired rebellions. Ordinary citizens who had lived under strict alien rule began rising up, sabotaging installations and aiding human forces. Resistance movements spread like wildfire. Coordinated with the human coalition, these uprisings weakened the Empire from within. The humans had become more than a fighting force. They had become a symbol of hope and defiance. Strategists on Earth studied every alien movement, predicting retaliation and planning counterstrikes. Small bands of human pilots launched daring missions to liberate planets, disabling the Empire's control systems and freeing oppressed populations. Engineers and scientists continued to refine weapons and defenses, adapting to alien technology in ways the Empire had never anticipated. The humans' ability to learn and innovate faster than the Empire gave them a significant advantage. Civilians on liberated planets joined the coalition, providing intelligence, local resources, and manpower. The human network expanded across star systems, forming a web of resistance that the Empire struggled to contain. Every victory reinforced unity. Courage spread from pilots and soldiers to the citizens, who learned that their actions, no matter how small, could have a meaningful impact. The Empire attempted to crush uprisings with overwhelming force, but the humans' strategic strikes and secret weapons made these efforts less effective. Guerrilla tactics, combined with superior planning and intelligence, allowed humans to outmaneuver the larger, slower alien forces. Human ingenuity shone as pilots used environmental hazards, asteroid fields, and unpredictable maneuvers to disable or escape enemy ships. Engineers adapted civilian vessels into agile fighters, equipped with weapons that could surprise even the most advanced alien technology. Scientists hacked alien networks, turning their own systems against them. Each engagement built confidence, morale, and expertise. As humans learned to exploit every advantage, the Empire's desperation led to reckless decisions, splitting forces, overextending supply lines, and leaving critical fleets vulnerable. Human forces seized these opportunities, coordinating strikes that maximized damage and minimized risk. As liberated worlds joined the coalition, humans gained access to new resources, starships, and intelligence networks. Strengthening their position further, the growing human alliance proved that cooperation and shared purpose could overcome fear and oppression. Human leaders understood that momentum was on their side. Each successful mission not only weakened the Empire, but also strengthened bonds among humans. Pilots risked daring maneuvers to save civilians or gather crucial data, while engineers and scientists worked tirelessly to improve weapons and shields. Every contribution, whether on the front lines or behind the scenes, became vital to the war effort. The humans' victories were both practical and symbolic, demonstrating to the Empire and the galaxy that humanity was no longer a primitive species to be controlled. Rebellion movements on occupied planets coordinated with human forces, timing their attacks to coincide with larger strikes and maximizing disruption to alien operations. The Empire, now stretched thin, struggled to maintain control over distant systems, their arrogance replaced by caution and fear. The humans' resilience and adaptability inspired allies across star systems. Many species previously subjugated or neutral began to quietly support the human coalition, offering intelligence, resources, or safe havens. The tide of war was turning. The humans were no longer merely defending Earth, they were leading a growing interstellar resistance. Coordinated efforts, careful planning, and relentless courage allowed them to reclaim territory and challenge the Empire's dominance. Human ingenuity, bravery, and unity proved decisive. Even as the Empire threw its full strength into desperate counterattacks, humans anticipated and countered each move. The momentum of resistance became unstoppable. Small victories cascaded into larger triumphs, inspiring hope and action across occupied worlds. The human strategy of combined defense, precise strikes, and support for rebellions turned the war in their favor. The Empire was beginning to crumble from internal pressure, external attacks, and its own overconfidence. Humanity had learned not just to survive, but to fight, liberate, and lead. Each mission, each victory, each act of courage brought them closer to a galaxy where humans would no longer be underestimated. The final confrontation between humans and the Empire was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Humans launched a massive, coordinated offensive, combining everything they had learned over months of struggle. Pilots flew with unmatched skill, engineers ensured every system worked flawlessly, and scientists deployed their secret weapons at the perfect moment. Alien fleets, once confident and imposing, now faced confusion and chaos. Communications failed. Ships were disabled, and formations broke apart under human tactics. Human strike teams targeted command vessels directly, disabling their control systems and cutting off coordination between alien forces. Boarding parties risked their lives to sabotage engines and weapons, turning the Empire's own technology against them. Every move was calculated, every decision precise. The humans' preparation, ingenuity, and bravery had brought them to this moment. The aliens, shocked by the humans' effectiveness, began to retreat, their arrogance replaced with fear as they realized they had underestimated the human spirit. Across battlefields in space, liberated planets watched as humans advanced. The resistance movements joined the fight, providing support, intelligence, and reinforcements. The galaxy witnessed the rise of a species that had once been dismissed as weak and primitive. Human coordination was flawless, using secure communications, synchronized attacks, and adaptable strategies. They exploited every flaw in the Empire's defenses. While the Empire relied on overwhelming force, humans relied on creativity, agility, and unpredictability. The secret weapon, refined over countless trials, disrupted the enemy fleets, causing confusion and allowing human forces to strike decisively. Engineers and scientists monitored every aspect of the battle, making instant adjustments to maximize effectiveness. Pilots performed daring maneuvers, dodging fire and delivering critical strikes to enemy vessels. Civilians on liberated worlds provided vital support, guiding ships through safe corridors, delivering supplies, and sharing intelligence. Every victory, no matter how small, contributed to the final outcome. The Empire's arrogance had blinded them to human determination. They had assumed fear would ensure obedience, but human courage proved unstoppable. As alien fleets collapsed, humans pressed forward, reclaiming planets and freeing populations that had lived under oppression. The final battles were intense. Each strike, boarding action, and deployment of the secret weapon brought humans closer to victory. Coordination between Earth, liberated worlds, and resistance cells ensured maximum pressure on the Empire. Human losses were heavy, but every sacrifice reinforced determination. Soldiers, pilots, engineers, and civilians all shared in the risk and the triumph. The Empire's command structure crumbled. With key vessels destroyed and communication disrupted, their ability to respond was broken. Humans celebrated small victories even as the larger battle continued, knowing that every step forward brought the galaxy closer to freedom. Across liberated worlds, people emerged from hiding, witnessing the humans' triumph and taking inspiration for their own future. The psychological impact on the Empire was immense, their centuries of dominance and arrogance shattered by a species they had thought weak. Humans had proven that unity, intelligence, and courage could overcome any obstacle. Pilots returned from the final battles with stories of daring, precision, and teamwork, inspiring the next generation to carry forward the legacy of resistance. Engineers and scientists continued refining systems even as the war ended, ensuring that humanity would remain prepared for any future threats. The galaxy began to see Earth not as a primitive world, but as a rising power. Humans had not only survived, they had proven their worth, strength, and resilience. Celebrations spread across planets, honoring the fallen, recognizing heroes, and sharing stories of bravery. The humans' fiery vengeance had become legend, a tale of a species that refused to bow, fought with every resource, and emerged victorious. Leaders on Earth and allied worlds pledged to maintain unity and vigilance, to ensure that the Empire could never rise to threaten freedom again. Humanity had forged a new era, one where they were respected, feared, and recognized across the stars. The story ended not with surrender or defeat, but with triumph, hope, and the promise that humans would never allow oppression to take hold again. The galaxy had witnessed the rise of a species that had turned fear into courage, strategy into victory, and survival into a lasting legacy.